Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. This time we're going to look through more armor sets in the game, and this I find especially helpful, not just for showing people what sets in the game look like, but also a reference for me to use as well in the future when I put glamour ideas together. So this time around it's the Ghimlyt Dark armor sets, also known as the Alliance sets. These are 375 item level and were added into the game as part of patch 4.5's main storyline duty. All of these sets have various similarities, as you would imagine, but I was pleased this time around to note there are actual differences between each set rather than just straight up recolors. Of course, these sets are fully dyeable, so I'll have some dyes to look at as we go. Mainly the strong colors, I like to show those off, like white, Dalamud red, honey yellow, Ochu green, Offard blue, and usually regal purple. I do like the tank set for a number of reasons, specifically because it offers a visual representation, like many of the other sets you'll see today, of a soldier in the horrific war that's raging in the Ghimlyt Dark Dungeon. Next up is the Maiming set. This is the Dragoon armor then, naturally bluey purple with a masked helmet and long coat. I like pretty much everything but the helm personally. The long coat is a very nice item, and the upper part of that chest piece has this sort of nice quilted texture that looks really good with dyes. You'll see what I mean when we get to the Dalamud red preview. It's incredibly nice. The boots are your standard metal plated fare. I like the shoulder and the gauntlets. It's just that helm that, unless you have a very short-haired character, you're not really going to be able to appreciate it. Striking next, and the samurai and monk set looks very much like the Maiming set. The differences include a closed visor helm instead. The chest piece has no metal pauldrons. The gauntlets, boots and legs are just leather rather than metal plate, and I prefer this variation more than the Maiming set, especially if I was to use this on a monk in particular. I love the exposed arms, and some striking sets can look like it would be impossible to actually move around in them, let alone do backflips and crazy punch combos. The helm is quite cool on this one. This is essentially the visor from the tanking set, but without the accompanying helmet. All in all, it's not a bad set, and dies beautifully much like the Maiming set. Aiming for your bards and machinists then, the Maiming helm takes its ugly return, and the rest of the set looks a little uninspired for an aiming set in my opinion. It's very basic with not that many details, unlike many of the other sets. Comparatively, I think machinists and bards got the short straw with these designs this time around. Naturally coming in brown, this set is saved a little with dyes, with potentially some use for the boots, but with so many others that look like these in the game, I doubt I will actually use any of the physical appearances of this set at all. Scouting up next then, with the ninja set getting essentially a mixture of the Maiming set with the long coat, with the helmet from the tank set and some small pauldrons and new details across. It's a pretty interesting variant and a pretty good combination of the other sets in general. I would have probably given this set the tanking feat to go with this instead of the leather boot look, but that would just be my own personal design preference if I was designing this. It looks wonderful in an array of dye options as you would expect, and is a good all-rounder. Healing next then, and this is completely unique from the others, with a fur-lined upper on this chest and a natural faded grey, blue and white colour. It's quite an interesting outfit, looking certainly different from what I expected this set to be this time around, and some people may rejoice that it's not just another long robe, which seems to be the more recent complaint on the forums when it comes to healer outfits, but it is something I would probably put together for a sort of cold weather expedition outfit or something like that. The dyes bring it to life much more than the grey shade of blue. However, the biggest problem with dyes on this healer set is that the main fabric of the chest gets this horrible washed out look, with only the small details taking the main amount of coloration, which probably makes this set a thing I won't even consider using the look of in the future. And finally, the casting set, a clear variant of the healer set, but naturally having a better colour palette in my opinion already. A dark colour with white fur brings out the details, and the brass detail in particular are brought out with the brown leather accessories throughout the design. Sadly, if you dye this, it has the same problem as the healer set. There's essentially no way of getting away from these washed out options, and I really wish they wouldn't do this with gear designs, especially in a game with clear limitations in the dye system. Other than the natural look of the set, I doubt I would even use this personally for its looks. However, if it wasn't for the crafted gear being around, I would definitely think about using some of these armor sets, especially being that they are 375 item level for alt classes. Unlike Swallow's Compass, which honestly has to be one of the best dungeon sets in the entirety of Stormblood, the Ghimlyt Dark offers a more realistic look to its Alliance sets, supposedly designed to represent the soldiers you play the role of in the duty, and whilst some of the sets leave a lot to be desired, the dungeon is an absolute blast in particular, and offers a great prelude to what's to come towards the end of this expansion. Either way, thank you kindly for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful in some way, getting all of these gear sets on screen together, and I'll continue to do these types of video if you enjoy them, and I'll see you all next time.